Chelsea have created more chances than Arsenal, than Aston Villa, and then multiple other clubs. But they have missed more chances than all these teams as well. They have missed 40 big chances out of 44 created. That's not on Pochettino. That's not Pochettino's fault that they don't have a forward that can put the ball in the back of the net. I'll give you an example even from their last Premier League game. Then they lose their last Premier League game against Wolves. In the first half, I promise you, not a single person who's Pochettino can convince me that in the first half, Pochettino did not coach a 5-0 to Chelsea. That first half alone, he coached a 5-0. He coached a 5-0 to Chelsea alone in that first half against Wolves. The Sterling chance, the Broya chance, the Palmer chances. They created so many opportunities and missed them all. What Chelsea fans need to understand is this is not the Abramovich era anymore. This is not the Abramovich era. The moment Abramovich walked out of your football club, Todd Boehly walked in, is where your whole thing went to the shits. Because now you have made and I said this to Terry in the summer, this is the worst fan base to have this type of essentially a plan or structure with the Chelsea fans. Because all they want is just success. The average age of your squad is about 15 years old. No 15-year-olds can win no Premier League title or no Champions League or no big trophies. This is the thing. And there was something, big up Hamza. Hamza is a massive fraud sometimes, but there's certain things he says, and you're like, you know what? He actually makes a valid point there. Against Borough, I don't know where they are on the championship. They're like 12th or 13th. They got 14 players out. Pochettino should go into that game, not say a single word, and they should still beat Borough by 3 or 4 goals. All respect to Carrick, all respect to all the Borough players, but we're talking logically here. Pochettino does not even need to open his mouth, and Chelsea need to win that game 3-4 by 3 or 4 goals. Because we cannot sit up here and lie. And now, for me, the energy now shifts onto the players. Are some of these Chelsea players, and I'm going to ask you, and I'm going to ask everyone in the chat, are some of these Chelsea players a lot more overrated than we think? Are they not as good as we first thought? Now, I'm not going to mention the usual suspects in Enzo and blah, 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 because I think that's being an agenda. You know why? Because I think Enzo actually done well against Borough. I don't even think he done badly. Caicedo, even I got bamboozled in the summer. Disasi, I don't think he's been a good signing for them. Sterling, this season, dreadful. Broha is the worst striker I've seen in the whole league. There's so many players, Conor Gallagher. These are all, once again, let's say Pep Guardiola walks into the Chelsea squad right now. He lines all of them up in front of him. Pep Guardiola, which player are you taking at your club? Probably other than Enzo, he ain't taking no one. Mudryk, exactly. Lampard, I tell you, he's crap. Levi Colwill got cooked by a championship third-choice winger for Borough. These are the questions here that we have to ask. Are these players overrated and just not good enough? Because all that's going to happen, let me explain something to the Chelsea fans because they can't get it through their heads. This is not Abramovich. This is Todd Boehly. If you sack Pochettino tomorrow and get in, first of all, stop saying Mourinho, because Mourinho does not work with youth. Mourinho is not a youth or an academy manager. Mourinho does not manage 17, 18, 19-year-olds. Mourinho manages winners. If Mourinho walked into your club tomorrow, first thing he's doing is buying 5 30-year-olds. Mourinho don't have time for your young, inexperienced crap structure thing. He don't have time for it. And third of all, whichever manager you get in, who's the best of the rest available right now? I don't know. Like insert, because no elite manager would work at Chelsea as currently constructed. Simeone wouldn't do it. Mourinho wouldn't do it. Zidane wouldn't do it. So let's all cut the crap here. Let's talk reality. Out of all the up-and-coming amazing managers, the Amorims and the blah, 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 and the young guys who wear suits and don't have a beard and look young and have their own fucking, style and structure of playing football. Out of all of these guys, pick your best one. Hire him as Chelsea manager. All you're doing is literally hitting a reset button. Nothing will change. Because when I tell you you've created 44 big chances and missed 40 of them, you cannot say that's on Poch. You cannot say that's on Poch because via XG, this is the final thing I'm saying, using XG, had Chelsea taken their opportunities and it's been balanced with the other teams, Chelsea would be on 41 points, sitting a point above Arsenal right now. Do you understand? Like where you would have been had you just taken your chances. I'm not saying all of them because no team creates 44 big chances and scores 44, but I'm saying even half of them. Do you understand how that you improve by 10, 15 points?
Yeah, so you're basically saying this isn't really Poch. This is the fact that they've, over the last
Nope.
2 summers, they've spent £1 billion and they've bought a lot of players that there's a lot of hype about, but actually they're not as good as everybody thinks they are. And whether you sack Poch and hire a new manager, they're probably going to be in the same situation irrespective.
Yes. Yes. I don't think so. What would sacking Poch do? Hire the next best thing. Amorim walks into your club right now. You already have an offensive system. You already have a system that creates chances. You just miss them all.
Jack's here says this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. And I don't know what Jack would say after that. But a challenge that gets thrown out a lot by Chelsea fans who come on the show, Don, Chairs, all these guys, is that Poch keeps playing multiple individuals out of position. And say Mahala Mudryk has a good game, they almost know, guarantee next match, he's on the bench again. And he can't ever kind of get a flow of games together, pick his form up. Bro, you're scored in the FA Cup. Midweek, you need a striker against Borough, and he starts him on the bench. So what's your response when Chelsea fans say, we understand some of the players are not performing, we understand the XG argument, but the manager keeps making consistent mistakes with his starting lineup, his substitutions, and then not allowing any kind of relationships to form on the pitch? What do you say to that?
This is exactly why Chelsea fans are full of shit. Because in that game against Borough, had Broha started and he benched Madueke, the first thing they would have said in the match reaction, Madueke just scored a goal against Luton. He's had 2 goals in 2 games. Why should he drop him? Had he dropped Palmer, oh my God, Palmer's been our best forward this season. Had he dropped Sterling, Sterling is the one forward that Chelsea have that consistently gets GNA, blah, 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 blah. So it's always some new shit. Pochettino is not flawless. Pochettino has made multiple mistakes. By the way, the game against Borough, I thought his substitutions were bad. And I think Pochettino has made so many mistakes. And I hold and you know, if Chelsea fans want to hold them accountable for that, no problem. But in their mind, they're thinking, sack Pochettino, get a new man in, problem solved. Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. Because if you get a new man in, it just does not work. Someone will say, oh, he shouldn't have played Gallagher. And then the other guy would say, Gallagher's been our best player this season. He should have played Gallagher. One guy would say, oh, he shouldn't have played Disasi here. The other guy would say, oh, he played really well the last time there. So it's just like they're confused about their own team because they just don't get it. And you know what it is? You know how, like, I've watched documentaries about people when they spend so much time in jail. Certain people, you know, when they spend like 15, 20 years in jail, they find it hard making it out to the normal society. It's the reverse for Chelsea. So they've lived the high life for the last 20 years, and now it's their time to suffer like the rest of the normal football fucking fans, and they don't want to suffer immediately. Get Potter out. There was the bald guy. Get Andrew Tate out. Get the Pochettino out. And then Amorim comes in, right? Let's say the next big thing comes in, Amorim. Amorim will have them 6th, 7th. They'll all be like, oh, see, we told you we're not as bad as 10th. Year after, if Amorim isn't in like 3rd, 2nd, or 1st by January, get Amorim out my club. We're Chelsea fans, blah, 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 blah. And it's just same shit, same cycle. They just don't understand that this structure that they have gotten in under Todd Boehly is a structure to win the league 4 years from now. Not now. This is what he's done, guys. Badiashile, Disasi, Enzo, Caicedo, Gallagher, Lavia, Palmer, every single player you have signed is literally 23, 24 and under. That is not a team ready to win the league now. It is not. Caicedo, let's look at Caicedo as an example. Liverpool wanted Caicedo in the summer. My club wanted him. Would Caicedo have been this bad at Liverpool? No. But now you ask me, why wouldn't he have been this bad? Because Klopp's a better manager, and because Caicedo's surrounded by experience. So when Caicedo walks in, Virgil van Dijk, Mo Salah, Trent, Alisson, Robertson, all these players are welcoming him in like, yo, we've won it all. We've been there, done that. Follow our lead. At Chelsea, other than Thiago Silva, there is really no one who's been there, done that. Sanchez was Brighton's 3rd choice keeper, for fuck's sake. So when you say stuff like, there's literally no one to even carry these kids and get them through. James Milner would do this Chelsea team wonders. Even someone with experience who could just get them through the times. This is what Chelsea fans don't get. They keep talking about this is the Abramovich era. You could get Zidane to this team tomorrow, and you're still not good enough to challenge or compete within the next 2 years. You need to develop experience, and you need these players to get experience. Simple as.
Look, I think you make some good points. I understand this isn't the Roman era. They can't expect it to run that way. They have to build something that's more sustainable. They have to add more experienced players to this squad. I still think, though, when I look at Poch, I think Poch is a loser. I think Poch is genuinely a loser. I think Poch doesn't have the confidence at this level. We've seen him manage 13 years. Okay, 13 years he's been a manager. A couple of years of that, he was at PSG. Now, I want to make this claim. I stand by this. Sheffield United's Wilder, David Moyes, Ten Hag, everyone hates him at the minute. We'll throw Ten Hag into that. Graham Potter could. You give any one of those managers the reins for 2 years in France with PSG, especially when you had Neymar, Mbappe, and Messi as your main attacking three, you're winning a league title. You're going to win a domestic trophy or two. Without sounding disrespectful to the French league, without being rude, it is such a monopoly. I think it's relatively easy for a manager. The players have still got to work hard every game, but for a manager, I think they can do it fairly easy. Outside of those couple of years there, he spent 11 years of his career in the two biggest, most difficult and best leagues in the world. Spain, La Liga, of course, and the Premier League. And he has won a grand total of 0. When there was a debate between Man United fans, who do you want, Poch or Ten Hag? I said about both of them that there is a big question mark over both. Neither have been successful at this level. Erik Ten Hag hasn't managed at this level of football before. He hasn't. The Eredivisie doesn't compare to the Premier League in terms of overall quality, scrutiny, etc. It just doesn't. I know it's a good league, good, amazing technical footballers, but it's a different level overall, in my personal and humble opinion. But I didn't want Poch because I've seen enough of him at Tottenham. And I've seen enough of him even at PSG with what it started to happen to know that the guy is a bottle job. He doesn't have the confidence. The style of football at Chelsea right now is starting to regress. They're not even moving the ball as well. The tinkering and messing around with the team, the galaxy braining, all of that on the regular basis, he does it for me, is a sign of somebody that's lacking confidence. And I think your arguments are fair, but I don't think the Poch situation can just be ignored. I genuinely don't think that it can be ignored. And that's my kind of issue with what you're saying. It's almost, you don't have to reset a project by sacking a manager. The project remains, but you should have a head coach. They don't even need a manager. They need a head coach who can make them play better football, can build the confidence to put the ball in the back of the net.
Than this?
Yeah, I mean, I think they started well this season.
Are one of the best teams in the league to watch right now.
I think they were up until about the beginning of middle of November. It's starting to look dry. It's genuinely, for me, it's starting to look dry, bruv. I'm just looking at it thinking, all fur coat and no knickers, mate.
Pochettino is the third best manager in the English Premier League. As things stand.
No.
Yes, I'll tell you why. First of all, for me, I do not lump trophies together and say manager X is better than manager Y. Because had that been the case, I would be saying Pep is better than a lot of managers, which I don't think it is. Since Juan de Ramos, not a single Spurs manager have won a trophy. Harry Redknapp didn't win a trophy. Pochettino didn't win a trophy. Postecoglou didn't win a trophy. Conte didn't win a trophy. Mourinho didn't win a trophy. Are they all bums? No, that's just who Spurs are. And with Spurs, I'll speak on it now. In La Liga, you're so shameless. He managed Espanyol in La Liga. He name the last time Espanyol won something. What, like 17 years ago?
I get you on that. But it wasn't. But it wasn't the big. It wasn't the big. But it wasn't the big Spanish clubs that wanted him. It was a bang average Tottenham at the time that did. So it wasn't like he was so well in Spain.
You said bang average Tottenham. This is where your argument crumbles. He came to bang average Tottenham. What he made Tottenham Hotspur a Champions League club. And I went and I looked at the history of Tottenham Hotspur in the Premier League. 15th, 10th, 11th, 9th, 8th, 7th. He consistently made Tottenham Hotspur a Champions League club and got them to a Champions League final. Tottenham Hotspur built a whole new stadium when he had his strongest side, did not spend a penny for 2 summers, and he still managed to keep Tottenham Hotspur in the top 4. That is what Pochettino has achieved with Spurs. Now with PSG, I agree with you. Let
me just jump in on that bit there. So firstly, on Espanyol, they won their last trophy 3 years before he arrived. So they were relatively new. That they won the Copa del Rey in 06. This is the thing, though. I don't think it does dispel my argument. I think he at that level, at Espanyol, making them play nice football, making them competitive, he can do. I think taking over a club the size of Tottenham, with the pressure of Tottenham, with the expectations then of Tottenham, brilliant at that. But as soon as he got Tottenham near a title race, as soon as he got Tottenham into a final, his arse went. And one of the biggest complaints I remember Spurs fans having about him is, why did he make that stupid decision by playing somebody here and moving this person into midfield, or going free at the back in a semi-final for no reason? He would galaxy brain it, and it's a sign of someone who isn't confident. He's gone into Chelsea, and Chelsea, I don't care what they were before 2004, Chelsea Football Club over the last 20 years have become an exceedingly bigger club and more successful team than Tottenham. And he's gone in there, £1 billion spent into
mindset. Nope.
Well, he's gone in there, and the pressure for me is eating him alive. It is like a parasite within him. As soon as that pressure increases on Poch, he go. And I'll agree with the element of your statement. I think he may be the third best coach in the league. I think when it comes to the elite end of that spectrum and challenging for trophies and titles, I would currently right now put him bottom of the top 6 managers in terms of having the cojones to get over the line. Arteta's won an FA Cup. Ten Hag has won a Carabao Cup in this country. We've seen them.
Than Arteta and Ten Hag.
Management and coaching is different, in my opinion. Managing and coaching are two different things.
Between them three, I'm taking Poch at my club.
No, I wouldn't. I mean, personally, I cannot take a manager who's had a 13-year career and never won a trophy in any of the major leagues versus managers who have got into title races in those major leagues, won trophies in those major leagues. I couldn't do it, bro. I couldn't do it.
Context matters, Terry. Context matters. In your whole lifetime, how long have you been watching football? For a really long time, right? In your whole lifetime,
34, 35 years.
How many trophies have you seen Spurs win? On a real, we're not even mocking it now.
In my life, I remember them winning 3 trophies.
Okay, so in the whole time of you watching football, you remember winning 3 trophies. Juan de Ramos literally last won them a Carabao Cup in 2008. So most like people in the chat who are like, maybe let's say, I don't know, 28 and under, 29 and under, maybe 30 and under. They've literally just seen Spurs win 1 trophy their whole life, and that's the Carabao Cup under Juan de Ramos. So he transformed Tottenham Hotspur. People around the world know who Tottenham Hotspur are because of Mauricio Pochettino. People in South Korea, in Jordan, in Egypt, in Brazil know Tottenham Hotspur because of Mauricio Pochettino.
So I can respect that opinion, and I think that's a fair thing to say. But he got Tottenham to a point where their squad was one of the most valuable in the world. I think it was top 4 in the world. And he got Spurs to a point where I genuinely believe for a 2-year period, they were one of the best teams in England. And generally speaking, and I'm talking on football ability here, not the mentality to handle the pressure, but on footballing ability, these guys went and beat Madrid in the Champions League. They were looking really good. But when they got to a certain point where you needed great management, you needed to be able to handle the pressure, the occasion, I don't think he has it. So there's a lot
of context study. That's very.
I don't think it is, because he developed a team to that level, but then could he get them over the line to win? No, and he may prove me wrong in his career.
Daniel Levy's fault, not his.
I don't necessarily. I think some parts are on Levy. I think to eradicate all blame from Poch, I think is personally wrong.